Hello and welcome to Kitco Mining with me, Paul Harris, here in Dawson City in Yukon, Canada at the Yukon Mining Investment Conference. Today we're talking about gold exploration and development. I have great pleasure to be joined by Tara Christie, President and CEO of Banyan Gold. Good morning, Tara.
Good morning.
It's been quite a 12 months for Banyan Gold. In May, you put out an updated resource, 6.2 million ounces. You got more drilling results out this morning, big drill program underway. And Banyan's grown in a relatively short space of time to be a big gold discovery, a major gold discovery. You've got a lot of ounces on the books. How has that been?
You know, it seems like it's been a marathon in some regards, but when you look back at it, it's really been a short time. We made the Powerline discovery, which is now the largest resource at 3.8 million, so almost 4 million ounces in Powerline alone. And that was a brand new discovery at a hole we drilled off the side of the highway in 2019. So now it's 2023 and we're sitting at the 6.2 million combined ounce resource. And we know it's open. We know particularly Powerline and Oryx Hill are open, and of course it's open at depth. Now we not only have this resource, but we've got this huge wealth of information within the block model and the resource, and the database of drill holes, which is giving us all kinds of information on grade, what's controlling mineralization, and it's guiding us in what we're going to do in future. And that's an important thing now that the resource isn't just like it is a waypoint, but it's also a really useful piece of information if you mine it for its data.
I mean, 6 million ounces is a significant deposit. How big can this get?
I think this is a district. I don't think it's unreasonable to say that within this area on AurMac there could be 8 to 10 million ounce potential. I'm not sure we'll drill it all the way out to that. We've already drilled 25,000 meters this year. And remember, we drilled 50,000 meters last year to take it from 4 million to 6.2 million ounces. So because this deposit is so consistent, it's near surface, you can add ounces very, very quickly with drill holes.
Okay, getting past that sort of 5 million ounce threshold, that puts you on the radar of, I guess, bigger companies, bigger investors. So that's obviously a very good and positive achievement. But how does that change the competitive landscape you're facing? And let's put that into context. You're situated next door to Victoria Gold, which successfully built the Eagle Mine and has been doing very well there. The competitive situation perhaps changed a little bit last year with Hecla Mining coming in and buying Alexco. So you got another producer in very close to you. And now, as I say, you've passed this 5 million ounce threshold, which perhaps puts you on the radar of other mining companies. You're sitting in the right position, it seems.
It's a really exciting position to be in, and that's why we're really trying to make sure we're checking all the boxes to de-risk this, from our metallurgy to looking at where those high-grade starter pits might be, designing our next phase of our drill program for this year. We're taking a little bit of time to actually look at the data, evaluate and exactly in the context of that competitive environment around us. And we've always traded a little bit in line with Victoria Gold because people look at us as a heap leach project, similar grades. And now that Victoria Gold is making their targets, things are going well there. We're seeing their share price improve as well. Hecla, their purchase of a tax signaled that they're interested in gold in the Yukon as well. So you're right on that. But I think there's a lot of interest. This is a district with the new discoveries in the whole Tintina Gold Belt or Tombstone Gold Belt. I think there'll be a lot of interest. These intrusion-related deposits are very big. They can have high grade. We haven't actually found our intrusion yet, which is the other thing. We're, these intrusive deposits, Victoria's mining intrusive, Snowline has an intrusive. We don't know where ours is yet. We're in the rocks that the intrusion leaked out into, effectively. So that's still the excitement of exploration, is that potential for discovery. And we've explored less than 5% of our property because we've been so focused on adding ounces with a very systematic grid. This is the first year we're actually doing soil programs on the rest of the project because we don't even have soil. So, I get really excited every spring, when you get out and do that grassroots exploration.
Okay, in terms of sort of continuing to de-risk the project, you're doing metallurgical test work. Do you get sort of input or advice from, perhaps Victoria Gold or some of the other bigger companies about what they want to see in terms of the metallurgical test work, so that they have a level of confidence in line with what they usually do?
Yeah, so we are benefiting from using the same analytical lab as Victoria Gold. So they know heap leach projects and they also know mill and CIL projects. And we're investigating both options, largely because we've had some people ask, that they wouldn't necessarily build a heap leach. And we know there's a higher grade core to this. If you use the 0.5 cutoff, there's 4.5 million ounces at 0.95. And yes, we don't know what those pits would look like. So that's just let's use this and think about what that means. Is there a high grade area which would be better to have the higher recoveries of a mill and a CIL? So one of the benefits of Hecla buying Alexco is Brad Thrall, who's a metallurgist and who built the Brewery Creek mine, was available to actually take over our metallurgical program. And when he was on the other side when I was doing the deal with Alexco, and he always said, Tara, don't do the typical junior 10 samples and say you have a metallurgical program done. You need a real database of samples. And so when he came on, that's what he said. He said, I want to do a real database program that's reputable, that people will be able to look at. So that means we've now shipped tons of samples, not just a few composites from holes, off to the lab for a very robust program that really does cover everything and will give us all the answers that we need to get a flow sheet going into fourth quarter this year. So I'm pretty excited about that. It's nice to have somebody who knows what they're doing. I've learned a lot more about metallurgy than I didn't even know I didn't know. So that's great. And that's partly what this business is. You're always learning new things yeah.
Definitely. And when do you anticipate having the results from that metallurgical program and being able to communicate those?
We want to get it all together. I don't think a piecemeal approach of releasing, here's some gravity, here's this, is going to be really meaningful. We might as well get it all together in a comprehensive flow sheet and do it near the end of the year in fourth quarter is our plan.
Okay, so you've got a lot going on with the drilling and the metallurgical work. Where do you want to get Banyan Gold to by the end of the year?
Well, I want to continue to grow some ounces. We're doing a lot of internal technical work. Of course, I want to get our share price and our market cap up because I think we're pretty undervalued compared to our peers. But I think the work that we're doing this year is going to show that we've added a lot of value by doing some of this technical work, that metallurgy, continuing to add ounces and show this is open. It wouldn't hurt to find some edges of this deposit either so that we'd know where we could put infrastructure. And that's the other part of what we're thinking is we're doing a little bit of pre-engineering, thinking about you want your starter pits where your higher grade is, but where's the infrastructure going to go? Is it proximal? And that'll guide our future programs of drilling. So lots of deep thinking going on right now on what we're doing. And meanwhile, we're just adding ounces every day with the drill.
Okay, interesting you mentioned the capital markets. I want to sort of follow up on that if I may. It's been a really sort of tough summer. It's been a tough year for a lot of gold explorers and developers. The markets just are shrugging and, who cares sort of thing. The fact you've got past your 6 million ounces, the fact you've perhaps got more competitive tension in your corner of Yukon now, is that starting to perhaps enable Banyan Gold to come out of the shadow of Victoria Gold and resonate in the markets?
We're definitely working on that. And that's really evidenced by the institutional investment that we've had. Fidelity and Franklin being good, solid, long institutional shareholders. They don't generally invest, particularly Fidelity, in our scale of projects. So I think they can see the bigger vision, and along with a bunch of other institutions that have recently come in. So I think we are, and we're working hard to differentiate ourselves from Victoria Gold. Yes, they're an 11% shareholder, but that's not a controlling position. So definitely want to make sure that we're visible to the other majors that are looking around in the Yukon. And I think everybody knows that with the recent discoveries in the Yukon, there's a lot of discussion about it. You can permit project in the Yukon. You're not going to get nationalized in the Yukon. Yes, it's a rigorous first world permitting process, but 2 mines got through it recently. So that is really encouraging. And I think we're working hard to set ourselves aside from others and Victoria Gold just by our scale and the work that we've done.
I mean, it's perhaps a bit preliminary to ask this, but are you sort of looking ahead to sort of 2024 and what the work program, what you might look to do next year?
Always. And we're always thinking about our program within the year and adapting it to make sure that we're adding. We don't just set a drill program and execute it. We look at what we're getting. We think about the results and what they're telling us and what we're seeing in the core and what's it telling us. So we're always adapting it, always thinking ahead, trying to plan ahead for 2024, 25. But crystal balls are a little hazy, so you have your plans and then they change as the markets change and as your success rates and discovery change. We're really lucky to have a very strong treasury. Having great institutional shareholders has been very helpful. And that's, we started drilling the 1st of March, had 3 drills turning, and we've been able to put our heads down and get a lot of work done. And a lot of other companies are really struggling.
Well, we've got the site visit tomorrow. I'm very much looking forward to that. Tara Christie, President and CEO, Banyan Gold, thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
And stay tuned to Kitco Mining for more from the Yukon Mining Investment Conference.